DJ Hercules.
I'm a classic man. You can be mean when you look this clean. I'm a classic man. Calling on me like a young OG. I'm a classic man. Your knees getting met by the pretty elegant old-fashioned man. Yeah, baby, I'm a classic man, man, man.
University of Man.
Welcome to the University of Man. We've been trying to get this started for a while, baby. I'll be your host, and my co-host will be Iriel Lewis, man. I'm Fred Abernathy. Hey, listen, this is going to be fun, interactive. We're going to talk about what it is to be a man. We don't know everything. We learning and growing as well, because this takes a lifetime, but we are going to share our personal experiences. Some of our personal experiences. Some of them can't be touched, but you know what that is. Hey, Ivory is in the financial service world for over 20 years. He's helped hundreds of families transfer wealth to their next generations. He's been doing this game, doing it the right way for years, man. I'd like to introduce you guys to my best friend, to my frat brother, to my brother from another mother, Ivory L. Lewis.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want to officially break this off by saying it's a great day to be amazing. I heard that, this has been floating around a little bit in the universe. Sometimes it's always good to come back to the people who do what they do best. And yeah, this is going to be fun. I think that we have a lot of challenges. We have a lot of things that we're going to actually talk about, from sports to, the Bible to, like he said, talking about being a real man. And, for myself, can't speak for Fred, I have not met my father. So for a long time, I was doing Google Dad. Like, is this what it's supposed to be about? And then I'd find a really good father. And then I actually pepper him with some questions. And again, it goes back to, how do you get into a place where you could actually not only learn, but be the best man that you can be on all levels. So, yeah, I'm excited about it.
Think about that. You said you never met your dad. You Googled him. I've been in a situation where I was raised by a single mother. I knew my dad. He left. We had an estranged relationship. And because of forgiveness, we have a very good relationship right now. So just for those people that's out there listening, especially those brothers that's had a dad in the family, that's never had a dad, that's had a dad leave and come back, hey, we got the gamut of information. We understand where you come from. So let's talk about this, Ivory. And I know we got the big championship Sundays coming up, baby. You got the Baltimore Ravens versus Kansas City. Yep. Two black prolific quarterbacks going at it. Then you got the Detroit Lions and San Francisco, where you got the number one pick, Caucasian quarterback, and the last pick of the actual draft, and Purdy, man. Who you got, baby? And wait. Before Ivory gives his picks, y'all got to understand, the man is not only a connoisseur, he played the game at a high level at the University of Illinois. So you know how you get those talking heads that ain't never been on the field. Nope, you got a live expert here. And he's a trivia question, folks. He scored the last touchdown of the millennium in the Micron PC Bowl for the University of Illinois. Yes, sir.
This guy. Oh, man. Okay. Shout out to University of Illinois.
Yes, sir.
So, let's go ahead and talk about Baltimore, the Ravens. They are on a mission. This man's gotten paid finally. He's gotten some good receivers. Zay Flowers looks amazing. He looks good. I'll say this, too. There's something about Patrick Mahomes. He is the litmus test of all. Like, if you look at Tom Brady and then it's him, it was like passing the torches when they played each other in the Super Bowl. So I don't know. I'll be honest with you with that. What they're deficient in, as far as Kansas City, with catchers, wide receivers that can't catch a cold sometimes, you still have Patrick Mahomes. So I can't knock them. I can't take them out. And if they win, I wouldn't be surprised. But I got Baltimore in that game. And then as far as the game with the 49ers, I mean, who are they playing? It doesn't really matter. It's the 49ers. No disrespect to Detroit.
Woo,
Detroit
that's
is really
strong.
bomb. I think over the last decade, Jared Goff played in a game that I think is probably during the regular season the most seen and looked at game. It was against Kansas City, and it was in the Coliseum in Los Angeles. I think it was like 55-52. He came out. He was throwing darts. He's that dude. He's been to a Super Bowl. He can take them there, but I just don't think this year's the year. And I think it's a Cinderella story that strikes 12, and that glass slipper is not going to fit. So,
Ooh, so you're telling me that probably for the 1800th time in football, we
yeah.
actually disagree. Because
Oh, you think?
I think Detroit has got that. No, don't get me wrong. San Francisco is a beast. They got all the components. McCaffrey is a beast. Their tight end beast. And anybody named Fred has got to be a great guy. Fred Warner is the man, right? But it's something about them hard hats in Detroit right now. They're winning games that they're not supposed to win. And I think when you they got this confidence that's beyond just what the X's and O's say. So that's why I go with Detroit. But I will say I think it's gonna be a close game. As far as Baltimore and the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, man, he's magic. But once again, that defense of Baltimore.
Don't make me pull it up. You know this is scripted. You saw the little stuff. You look at the emblem of the Super Bowl. They got the pictures. It's big money involved in this, man. You can't have Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuels, all these guys not going to the
not
Super
playing.
Bowl. It doesn't matter. He's gonna play in the Super Bowl. That's 3 weeks from now. I'm just saying.
If he makes it, okay. Well, look, hey, that you got it. So our first episode,
Christian Ayuk and Fred. I mean, you talked about a Fred one. Like
Fred Warner is a beast, bro. Like that dude, he plays sideline to sideline.
They beat the Rams by 1. They're the 3rd youngest team in the whole NFL. No disrespect to Tampa Bay. They weren't supposed to be there.
No, they weren't.
Really? Tampa Bay? Really? No. Okay. You beat Tampa Bay. And you beat an upstart Rams team that has, to be honest with you, the Rams should be here. I'm going to throw it out there.
Could that be because you live in LA? But no, I'm just saying, I get it. Detroit has beat some teams that maybe gave them confidence that they shouldn't have. But I think their coach is going to have them up for this game, and they going to come with it. I'm just saying, but, that's why we watch the game.
Where's the game being played at? I heard it was on the West Coast.
Oh, am I right? I give you that. It's going to be at the crib for you.
So they got to go away from that dome that they love and everything else. Yeah, so
I get it. Hey, I could be wrong.
No, you get it. When we all see what happens on Sunday, you understand.
It's all good.
The script is written.
But think about that. So with all of our aspirations as young men to play sports, go to the league, be elite, and have our mamas tell us how great of people we're going to be when we grow up, how do you continue to have faith in yourself after what most people consider to be failures? And how sometimes men allow those failures in their lives, whether it be a failed marriage, whether it be a failed fatherhood, whether it be failed athletics. How do you continue to have the faith to continue to push to be the dominant figure in your field of work, in your life? How do you continue to have that faith, bro?
Don't take this the wrong way, but Mama Pat didn't raise no punk. I'm just saying. When she put something in me, I think I came on one day. I was frustrated. She's like, boy, if you don't get up, like, maybe we were raised different back then, but I've just
no doubt we was raised different.
An ordinary amount of confidence in myself, even when it wasn't warranted.
Right.
And maybe that's rooted in God and everything else, but that confidence has always come out because I was raised like that. I could do anything that I want to do as long as I put my mind to it. And again, I'll fall back on the gifts that God gave me, not me. Because if it was just me, man, it'd be bad. But thank goodness I know that God's got my back. And when I do win, to God be the glory. So,
man, that's huge because I think about those same things, man. And in both of our lives, we have some situations where it's like, yeah, we're gonna do good, we're gonna do it, and then we get knocked back. And I've learned through that process, bro, that failure is the only thing that I've ever learned from. Like the stuff that I'm good at, I never really learned anything. Case in point, I never really learned how to be good at Madden until you start beating me, right? Like I would play everybody else and was like, oh man, this game is crazy. Ooh, I could kill it. But then when you come up against somebody who actually is better than you at the game, now you got to figure out different strategies. You learn from failure. Like, and one of the things that I've always known, man, and like you said, I was raised differently. Vanessa, she definitely put it in me, man. Like it ain't no give up. Like, and the one thing I know, and I always knew, degree, no degree, whatever, I was gonna be successful, right? And that's ingrained in my DNA. You're gonna be successful. You're one of God's kids. This is what royalty looks like. And one of those things was, if I'm gonna go around telling people that I'm a child of the king, I can't be living like a peasant. So in order for me not to live like a peasant, I gotta be successful in my line and area. But the failures that I've had in life, from my video business, and I mean, my video business was a successful business at the time.
Failure? That's a failure, bro.
Exactly. And I thought it like, man, like you got to keep up with the times and you got to get new equipment. But bro, I filmed one of I bought some new equipment, and I filmed an event for one of my clients at the time, Black Ice. He did Kings of Poetry for the second time. The first time we did it at the Sabo, filmed it, sold DVDs, great show. Yeah. I bought new equipment. I'm like, yeah.
No. Time out. Go ahead and talk about that again. You actually packaged the DVD when people were walking out of the event.
Oh, yeah.
Don't disrespect what you were doing. You were doing stuff way before your time.
Hey, man, God was amazing. Like, yeah, we would have the labels ready. We would put an intro on the DVD, film the show live with multiple cameras, edit it live, put a closing on it with credits, finalize it. You remember those DVD those copies?
Yes, the 20 disc DVD.
Yeah. So we would make copies of it and sell them right there, man. But that next show, we had this new equipment, filmed it. Like, we filmed it better than we did the first show.
Yeah.
No sound, brother. No sound. But the next day I had a wedding. Filmed it cold. No sound.
Wow.
So, man, I had to give all the money back. I had to come humbly, like, listen, I messed up. I'm going to, 1, return your money. 2, the next show I'm going to give it to you at a discount. And I still had to pay my staff. Like, bro, that was, and had to go home to a Black woman at the time and tell her that I had messed up, right? So, listen, those next events that we did, everybody on the crew had to make sure we had sound. And if we didn't have sound at the end, nobody got paid. So everybody made sure we got paid. So we put a process in place. But had I never had that failure, I would have never probably developed that process. And now anytime I buy a piece of equipment, I do my due diligence to learn it before I put it into action. Case in point, this whole microphone thing. I had to learn it before I put it into action. So I'm just saying, but you got to have that faith and that tenacity to be able to continue through life after what we consider to be major failures, and other people look at like, oh, what else? So with that, man, like, tell me something that you feel like you've learned in failure in your career.
Well, I talk to my sons about this often. You don't win, you gain more wisdom. You don't lose, you learn. And as long as you can actually process things, because vocabulary is big. Like, somebody says that you lost or you failed or whatever the case is, you have a negative stigma with it.
Yes,
but if you are in a position where we are men and, creatures of habit, the scoreboard's always following us. And we want to see a scoreboard no matter what. So if you want to get better in life, know that there's the process. It's awkward, mechanical, and then natural. Once you get to natural, that's a lot of hours. I had a conversation with my son. It was like, look, he had just played in a game and somebody missed a shot and everybody was huddling around him. It's okay. But they ended up winning in overtime. So it wasn't a bad thing. But the kid was still on the side, just like crying, right? And like I saw he was visibly shook. And then we saw the national championship game with Michael Penix. Shout out to him. He was playing hurt. He was like, Daddy, why doesn't he just come out? He was like, timeout. This is what I told him. This man has put in more hours, more time on the field with this team. They know if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't be there. He's going to play hurt no matter what. And they know it. They going to win and lose by him. And I said that when you put in the time to be able to get the ball at the end, everybody knows. So if you put in the time, nobody cares if they win or lose. They riding with you because they know what you put the time in. So case in point, if we put in the time, we know that it's supposed to come. It's not the, oh, I'm so shocked, oh, shucks. No, it's supposed to come. We put in the work.
And look, that time you just talked about,
sure.
Kobe said, people was like, man, why you a ball hog? People on his team was saying, you a ball hog. Why you don't pass the ball? Kobe said, listen, I was the first one at practice. When you got to practice, I was already there. You left practice early. While we were at practice and I was humping, you was on your cell phone. While I was at practice shooting 100 shots, you was laughing around. Then you left early. And now you want me to pass you the ball in the game when it's on the line? He said, this is how I feed my family. This is how I take care of my legacy. You think I'm going to trust you when you haven't put the effort in practice? And that's that time that you was talking about. And I tell people that all the time, like, listen, none of this is an overnight success. And, you know, people are always like, oh, people on the internet making money overnight. Woo. I think social media is giving young people a false sense of instant success. All of this takes time. You got to put the time, the practice, and honing your craft. And that for me is why when there is a quote unquote failure, but that we learn from, or a win that we get wisdom from, as you said, it's like, man, but before I did that, how much time did I put into it? Out in the camera world, before I even got to pick up a camera, I was what they call a grip. You know, when you see the credits and you see the keyboard grip, that's the dude that's holding the cord. You literally hold, and in church, I'm holding the cord to make sure when people start shouting and running through the church that they don't trip over the cord, and that the cameraman got enough slack that he can do. That has no technical training. There is no glamour behind that. I'm on my knees, getting my suit dirty, all that because you the grip. But that's putting that time in. So then when I got to get on the handheld camera, which is the number one, that's the money shot. And I was the youngest to do it at age 14 in a major, which was one of the first mega churches in Chicago, Dr. Richard Daniel Hinton. Shout out to Monument of Faith. That's where I was born. But I'm just saying, like, when I was able to do that, and shout out to my mentor, Tommy Skinner, who's going on to see the Lord too. He taught me everything I knew about the camera at the time. But I had to carry that cord. Like, and you know, you put that time in, so then you can step up. But a lot of times, we want that. I call this generation the microwave generation. They want their food fast. They want success fast. They want everything fast. But things taste better out of the oven, brother. Let it simmer.
Hey, I wanna shift gears real quick. You talk about putting in that time. There's this dude by the name of Cat Williams came out. He was talking about putting in time, and somebody was a plant, and you know all that. I don't know if you saw it or not, but
of course, we do our due diligence.
Well, he gave a whole lot of ether to a whole lot of people with no, like, somebody said he needs to actually be up for an Emmy for that. And Club Shay Shay is doing some good things for it.
Oh, Club Shay Shay is getting business for it. But so tell me about that. Like, some of the stuff he said was kind of far-fetched.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff he said had a lot of provable truth. Like that joke that he did on Comic View before Kings of Comedy came out. And now, but then what was even crazier, I seen another clip of Mark Cooper talking about
Hang with Mr. Cooper.
With Mr. Cooper talking on his show in 87. He was telling this person in the class, like, man, somebody called him Bob Initial. And he was like, Bob Initial? Long story short, the joke was he was saying, no, you can call me by my initials. Sid did that same joke
And he
years
did it on
later.
Kings of Comedy, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
4 years later. No, but he did it on Comic View 4 years later because this was out in '87. He did it in 2001. Bro, like some stuff get recycled, and
So
the way Cat Williams was let that fire come out now is getting exposed because a lot of people don't go back and look and see. Oh well, yeah, this joke happened before.
But you gotta understand this too. Like when you get to a certain level, you got writers.
Yes,
And those
sir.
writers may be pulling from other people's stuff from way back in the day. They might have heard it a couple years back. You know, Sed and Steve Harvey and the crew, they are now a business, man.
Yes,
Like
sir.
they're not too big to fail, but a lot of people put a lot of money into them. And some of the stuff they talked about with the man unit, man, I'm like, yo, he did have the cleanest lineup forever. But when he let it go, he let it go. It's like
Yeah.
Mr. Potato Head. And
Man.
you know, one of the things that hurt me was Bernie Mac. The way that he was talking about how, you know, he like Ocean's 11 or whatever it was when he got that scene. I heard about the little fireworks with that, with them trying to get that instead of burning. But, you know, I saw something about his daughter talking about that too. She was like, salute the cat. So Cat Williams is a good dude. I think that he has the right mindset, but, you know, when you get put in jail 30 some odd times, something's got to give. So.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, you know, and people try to test his credibility because of those things. But the kudos to Bernie Mac. Listen, he from the Chi. I'm from the Chi all the way, baby, South Side. And as a kid, I actually got to see Bernie Mac on the train.
Bust to the white meat.
Listen, that dude was literally the funniest dude I've ever heard in my life. Like, and it's something about a church boy hearing grown people cuss. Like, and it still do something for me now to hear senior citizens cuss. Like, but nobody cuss like Bernie, man. And it just his delivery, his timing was always great. And he never actually changed the hood and the type of cat he was, no matter how big he got. So yeah, I could see the more polished guys trying to be like, no, why would you give it to him? He he the hood rat. But nope, Bernie and the good books say your gift will make room for you. So, you know, Bernie did his thing, man. He had the burning desire and the gift that he had a crack at. So tell me, bro, for a man, and you got two sons, three. Oh man, listen. Well, see, little Irie, I don't really. He's a grown man, like, but you got three sons, and if you had one piece of advice to give your sons when it came to faith over failure, what would that be?
One word of advice of faith over failure. So first things first, you have to have a vision. And if you don't have the vision, you don't have anything to have faith for. Mm-hmm. So I believe that I've taught my children how to create, maintain good things with affirmations. Man, my kids were doing affirmations ever since they were 3. So
yeah, I remember.
They know whose they are, and who they are, and there's never going to be a misconception of, you know, no matter what they do, they know Daddy loves them. So there is no issue with failing. As a matter of fact, I want you to fail more than anybody else, because the people that fail the most win the most. Because I mean, like, you can't not take the shot. Michael Jordan took a whole lot of shots, and he missed probably more than most people. LeBron James is the most shot missingest dude in the world, but he is also the guy that has the most makes. So you've got to be in a position where you at least take the shot, and if you miss, figure out why you missed and keep going. And, you know, if you get paralyzed from, you know, quote unquote failure or not learning a lesson, then what's God going to do with you when you fail again? Because you're going to fail on different levels. So it's not that you can't fail. It's just, how do you fail? And you can actually tell what a man is really worth when he's in a down moment. Does he stay the same? Does he change up? Is something wrong? And then also, does he and or she, this is for women too, do you have somebody that's going to help you out when you're down? Because when you're talking to one person, you're looking for help. When you're talking to 10, you're looking for attention.
Listen.
I'll say it again, when you have a problem and you're talking to one person, you're looking for help. But when you talk to more than 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, you're just looking for attention. So,
man, that's powerful. Listen, let me tell you what I heard.
okay.
Without vision, the people perish.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a vision, no matter what you're doing, you're not going to have faith to continue, because your vision actually leads and guides you and keeps you pushing. So brothers out there, get a vision, not just for yourself, but for your family, and the vision that you see your family going, whether that be, hey, short-term vision, I want to take my family on a vacation. Long-term vision, I want to own 10 doors. Whatever that vision is, have a vision, write it down and make it plain, right? Then you said being unstable when you're in down times. And what I heard was a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, right? So it's a whole lot of books out there, bro, but the good book always leads me back to everything that we talk about. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. If you can't still maintain your joy and your passion about what it is that you say you back in a downtime, you're unstable. So how do we get that stability in our vision? How we get that stability in who we are and whose we are? That's a grand statement. Know who you are and whose you are. Know who you are and whose you are. And a lot of times people don't even know who they are. First of all, and it's weird when you ask people, who is Ivory? Who is Fred? Who is that? Can we legitimately tell you who we are? I think in this show we'll be able to tell people who exactly we are, right?
Yeah.
But the icing on the cake is we know whose we are, and whose we are is who leads us. And as men, we're supposed to be the heads of our household, but we're supposed to have the head of us being Christ and our Lord and Savior, right? And what that looks like, and being able to be guided by him and leaning not just to our own understanding, but going to him, right? So how do we know whose we are? And one of the things I heard, I was in Atlanta a month ago, and I went to a church called New Mercies, and the pastor said he was talking about boldness, and in his boldness, he said the only way you can really have true boldness about anything is if you spent time with it. So, like when I asked you about football earlier, the reason why you speak so boldly about football is because of the amount of time that you spent playing the game, the amount of time that you spent in the game, the amount of time you spent watching the game. You can speak boldly about it. If I ask you about your sons, the reason why you can speak boldly about it is because the amount of time you spent with your sons, the amount of time that you put into them. And the reason why we can speak boldly about Christ is that same amount of time that we have to put in, whether that be praying, reading your Bible, witnessing. All this time that we put in with our natural relationships, we got to put that same time in with our spiritual relationship. Just saying, what you think?
There's a lot of people give pushback on tithing, and tithing has a lot to do with money, maybe, but it also has a lot to do with your time. So if you got 24 hours in a day, 10% should go to the spiritual man, whether it be working out, whether it be praying, whether it be whatever the case is, you have to build that spirit man. And, many a times I'm listening to gospel music when I'm working out. Why? Because I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm taking care of the temple. We talked about that the other day. And I'm also taking care of my spiritual man because, I saw this picture. So I'll post it one day. Where you have a woman that's a little bit overweight, and then you have a woman that's like a skeleton. And it said, this is your main body, and this is your spirit, man.
Mm-hmm.
And like the woman that was super thin looked like she was like 70 pounds at best. And the other woman looked like she was over 300 pounds. Like what and who are you feeding the most? And I encourage you to keep a healthy spirit man and or woman, and also take care of your temple too.
Okay, look, folks. I want you to follow us on our social media platforms. Our social media for me is Team Abernathy Financial. Yeah, I'm financial world. Then we got Ivory at what's your you want Ivory 40?
Ivory 40 at Instagram, Ivory/Lewis on Facebook. That's my main page, and I got a couple other websites, but go to Instagram, you'll be fine.
Yep, and then you can also join University of Man on Instagram as well. Just like the page, post. We'll get back to you. Hey man, it's been great. Love you, bro. We gonna talk. Hey, you brought up tithing. We're gonna talk about that on our next episode.
Let's get it.
Should I tithe to the church? And what is that preacher doing with that money, bro? Like,
ooh, see, now you bringing up messy stuff.
I'm
man.
just saying, like, but
messy, you know that, right?
For a man, like, I want to know where my money going. So, all right, man, that's University of Man. Appreciate y'all. Keep listening. We love it. Talk to you.
God bless, man. Talk to you soon.
Yep.